Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dan French, Wealthytainment. If you guys have not, checked out my channel, this is a channel about entrepreneurs, financing wealth, hot topics, and news, amongst other things that we talk about on this show. And everybody out there that has contributed to subscribers and also an uptick in comments and everything, I appreciate everybody out there that's helping this channel grow. So let's keep that crusade. I have an interesting topic that I want to talk about today, which has been brought up recently in the news. One of the things that's happened where Shohei Ohtani, he's a Dodger, he's a baseball player that signed with the Dodgers, a record $700 million contract. A lot of people are having problems with athletes making this much money, and they're voicing their opinion. They're voicing the fact that they disagree with it. Compared to other occupations, it's just not something that somebody should be paid $700 million over the course of 10 years. And so, is it a mistake? Did the Dodgers make a big mistake? We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about are athletes grossly overpaid? Are they overpaid? Are a lot of these people that making these comments, do they have validity and truth to it? So I'm going to give you my opinion on that. We're also going to bring up Behind the Mask on a topic. These are past two football players, a very popular podcast that they gave their opinion on. Somebody asked them that question, are athletes overpaid? So we're going to listen to what they have to say. I'm also going to bring up the top list of athletes paid and also the top franchises, the top 10 franchises going on right now. And what's interesting is the Dodgers are not on that list. So we're going to bring that up. But before we get into it, on Sunday, we also saw the Carolina Panthers had a game, or at least some very few did, right? Look at the fans. This is a big thing, right? There was not a lot of fans at this game. One of the lowest attendance of games I've ever seen. And a lot of it was contributed to let's not kid ourselves. I mean, the teams are not very good. They have really bad records, and also the weather was not there. So it doesn't look good for the NFL. I think it's a bad look for the NFL. But again, it's very interesting. This did happen before. They're going to recover. They're not going to lose any sleep, but you can just see that was very low fan base there. Let's talk about the Dodgers. The Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani to a $700 million contract, and a lot of people know what's inside of that contract or what it entailed. Let's go over it. So Ohtani deferring $680 million of his $700 million salary from the Dodgers, sum of $2 million per year for 10 seasons before receiving the remaining compensation between 2034 to 2043 when Ohtani's in his 50th birthday. Now, right away, they had the highest, or it's actually sold out, his jersey sold out. So that tells you right there, he's going to be the number one selling jersey this year by far. They also had record sales on increase as far as the cost per ticket went from $390 all the way up to $980. So the Dodgers know what they're doing in the sense that they're going to get their money back. People are going to go to the Dodgers. You have Mookie Betts that's coming back. You have a couple other players that's going to be there. So the Dodgers are abuzz right now. And by signing him, their hopes are that their franchise is going to triple in value. Within 10 years, they're going to be worth well over $15 billion, where right now they're not even a top 10 franchise as far as overall value. So you can see what they're trying to do, and signing Ohtani, it's a win-win. Ohtani also is going to be making $50 million just in sponsorships a year, so he's going to be okay for the next 10 years. He's going to keep getting those sponsorships, and also being in LA, that's a big deal because you're going to have a lot of exposure there. I'm sure that those sponsorships are going to increase. Now, did the Dodgers make a mistake? I don't know. We'll see. A lot of talk out there is that they did, that it's a risk. And then you have a lot of people pushing back saying, this is another example of athletes being well overpaid. And so you got to think, are athletes really the one to blame for this? Or is it that franchises and also investors and also Americans and people in general, not just Americans, worldwide, soccer, football, everybody since a young age has been, influenced by sports. It's on every social media. It's everywhere you go. And I think social media is really one of the biggest reasons why sports has taken off, especially for the NFL and a lot of the N.B.A, the Major League Baseball still, overall their league is valued very high. It's just not as popular, but all of these sports leagues and these franchises are consistently increasing in value, and there's a reason for it. Now, I want to come over here. This is Behind the Mask podcast. These are past two football players, And this topic and this question was brought up: are athletes overpaid? Let's listen to what they have to say.
Ready for this?
Let's go. Let's go.
Somebody posed a question to me. They actually touched me in my chest and said, "Hey, I have a question. Are athletes overpaid?" You ready for this?
Let's go. Let's go.
Somebody posed a question to me. They actually touched me in my chest and said, "Hey, I have a question. Are athletes overpaid?"
Really?
And I was like, my immediate response was, it's fight or flee. I was like, are we over? What you mean? Then I had to take myself out of the equation, which was hard to do. So I say, please expound on your statement.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it's so many things going on in the world. You got doctors who play a pivotal part in keeping humanity around. You have the example of school teachers who are the ones that probably inspired you and I to take the path that we did. So many other people who play very important roles in the developmental growth. And why is it that since they play such an instrumental role, that they're not compensated for it? So it comes back to the question, are athletes overpaid? Taking into consideration that other people's roles in life could be, as a doctor, as an example, keeping life, humanity around.
I think in the context of people being around in life and, the lifesavers, the policemen.
You can see what he has to say. Basically, he's saying that, with everything that goes on with police, firefighters, and, you look at our military right now, their average is $60,000 a year that they make on average. You look at the highest grossing doctor makes about $800,000 a year. I mean, our president makes $400,000 a year. And then you have athletes making $45, $46 million a year. And that's just crazy if you think about the numbers and the difference in what those occupations are. By far, athletes are well compensated above any other occupation that's out there, maybe other than, say, an actor or actress, right? But you got to think, a lot of people, I don't know if it's jealousy. He brought up in this article that, interview, that people that are doing that are just probably jealous, right? They're jealous because athletes are making more money than them. And maybe there's some truth to that. But let's go look and see what the top 10 athletes are. So if you look at this chart here, you got, Lionel Messi and LeBron James. You got these athletes here making well above $100 million a year. Steph Curry. And, I think it comes down to, you look at some of these franchises, the Dallas Cowboys, $9.2 billion. You have the Jets, all the way down to the Jets. I mean, also, too, U.S. major sports teams have seen the collective sponsorship revenue increase by 17.5% to $6.7 billion in 2023. Major League Baseball increased 23% year over year. National Basketball Association, $216 million over 2022-2023 season. So you have to think that obviously you look at all the owners and investors that's inside of sports, the sponsors, everybody's making money, big TV deals. So when you look at a franchise like the Dodgers, which I just said is not even on the top 10 list, they're worth a little over $5 billion, and they signed somebody for $700 million, right? That's not a lot of money if your franchise is worth over $5 billion. And if you have the capacity to withstand, signing other players, writing up that contract to be Dodger friendly because they're expanding it and really just paying him $2 million over the next, 10 years, then they're going to be able to sign other players. And so the topic comes back to, are athletes overpaid? And, is this a problem that we're going to continue to see, that people are going to really have, I wouldn't say jealousy, but maybe there is a form of jealousy here because athletes are paid well over, if you look at the next occupation, I mean, like I said, unless you're a business owner, if you're going for a skilled craft or some type of occupation, huge separation. The only thing that can really, shrink that down or really bring that closer together to athletes is, one, you probably need to be a business owner or multiple business owner or an entrepreneur, and you have a large amount of money coming in for whatever business you own or whatever you sell or something. I'm just saying, going out and doing an occupation, which is like a neurosurgeon, or a neurosurgeon has a lot of, they make about $800,000 a year for the good ones out there. And so it's a big separation. I think there's a lot of people out there that saying teachers and doctors and police officers and firefighters, they're just not being compensated, or they're well underpaid as far as what they do. And let's talk about athletes in general and also franchises. If these franchises weren't making this much money off of these athletes, there's no way they're going to write these contracts. So you can agree or disagree with it. If you go back to it and say, well, why are they making so much money? It's because of you guys out there and people out there that are supporting these sports teams. What people don't bring up is, because they have viewership, because they have sponsors, knowing that, they've already created this big system of people that are watching sports at a young age. They get, involved on sports at a young age. A lot of people want to pursue that and try to go make money that way, which is a very small amount of people that actually make it, than actually have some type of craft or some type of skilled profession or becoming like a doctor or something like that, because you can make a lot more money, and it's also glamorized more. I would say it's even glamorized in today's society more than being an actor or actress by far. And they're looked at as being the envy of what most people want. They're playing professional sports. Most of them are probably in really good shape. They take care of their body, and also they make a lot of money. And if athletes are making a lot of money off of sponsorships, you got to think those franchises like the Dodgers and other franchises are going to continue to make that money. So the people out there that are unhappy or pissed off or don't like the fact that athletes are, making all this money, it's not going to change. It's not going to go anywhere. The reason is because our culture as a society, like I said, when you go and look at Google Trends and what people are looking up on their phones and also on their computers, it's all sports related. You go to Yahoo, 80% of the stuff they put on is sports. People are entrenched with sports. They're envy. Somebody put out an article today about having more, let's have a face-off between a white football team versus a black football team, and it went viral. Everybody's talking about it. But let's think about this. If you were a neurosurgeon, or let's say you were somebody else out there that was bringing up something like, oh, there was a firefighter today that was injured, or something happened, or there's something going on. That's not going to hit the news that big. It's not going to hit the same. Everybody's affected emotionally by sports because they have memories of relating to past sports history and sports memories that they've had. And it's glamorized a lot. I mean, that's what it is. It's glamorized, and it's not going to change. Now, if you think that, they shouldn't be paid this much, let's put yourself in that position. Would you take that money? I would. If somebody gave me that money because I'm producing some sport, I'm taking that money. I'm not going to say, oh, no, hold off on that. I don't really want that money. You can give that to somebody else, then that's what I want to do. Damn well everybody out there that's given the same position is going to do the same thing. Are they overpaid? I don't know. That's not really something that I can say that this occupation versus that occupation is not overpaid. What I can tell you, though, is that they're obviously producing a lot of money and bringing in a lot of money. Like, you could be a fan of LeBron James or not. When he left, Cleveland, that area dropped significantly. The money there dropped significantly. So there was an impact there. But it all comes down to people, Americans, the world, they're all affected emotionally by sports. It's entrenched into our society at a very young age. We're all promoted to go become, to do sports and be an athlete. And a lot of people want to go that route. And a lot of people see it on social media because everybody buzzes about it. So that signing for the Dodgers, it's probably going to be a great signing for them. And this is not going to be the last time we see this type of contract. it's going to be pretty soon. We're going to see $100 million contracts signed probably in the next 5 years. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Subscribe to my channel. If you guys have any comments on this topic, please leave a comment, and I'll see you guys at the next one. I'm out of here.